Good afternoon, my friends, and welcome to a little earlier version of this Saturday version of this thing of ours. I'm so glad you can join us. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us and this cacophony, this clarity, this convocation, this cadre, this coven of a conspiracy and conspiratorium clerisy. Thank you so much. You are excellent. I thank you so much for being with us. Now, a couple of things I provide to you. First, let me remind you, as I always do, which is very, very critical, dear friends, that the election is 150 days from today. 150 days from today. Now, listen carefully. We had a wonderful talk this morning about free speech. The Brianna Joy Gray stuff is just going crazy. People love this thing. I mean, it's just incredible. People are going crazy. The free speech. She's got no free speech. She's got free speech. No, she did it. They fired her because of they were setting her up for what? Because of the Israeli thing and the lobby and this and she's pro-Palestinian. No free speech. There is free speech. There's no free speech. She's not arrested. That's not what I mean. I mean, she can't say what she wants to say. She said what she wants. That's not what I mean. They fired her, and well, it's next star, folks. I don't know what I still think. What is the matter with you? Where do you think these people, seriously, what do you think they're going to do? What do you think this is? The first? You think these people they're enjoying the bastions of free speech? Come on, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. The myth, fantasy, delusion, and illusion of free speech. I love this. We think that it's this. I don't know what people think it is. They think it maybe is some kind of a like it protects you from everything. I guess maybe I'm not really sure. So we'll talk about that a little bit. I'm so happy you're with us. Seriously, we'll enjoy this. It's a beautiful day here. 79 degrees here. It was a bright, beautiful day today. We're out around Union Square. Oh, the farmers market. God's bounty. We have some of the greatest. These great from upstate New York and in Jersey, these farmers markets. They're just wonderful. So anyway, we're going to be talking about that. Couple of thoughts on, believe it or not, Trump, his potential sentence. What's next for that? A little bit on First Amendment and some other things as well. But first, let me remind you, make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure that you are 100% subscribed. Make sure that you like this video. Make sure of all of that stuff because it's so critical, so important. Because as I say all the time, for some reason, sometimes people say, hey, I'm unsubscribed. Well, we got to make sure that doesn't happen. Now, before we get started, let me remind you of this thing called starvation, pestilence, and the like. And this special, very critical message from our friends at preparewithlionel.com. It's no longer a question of if something catastrophic is coming, it's when. And while you still have some control, what are you going to do about it now to prepare? Well, your first step is going to my website, preparewithlionel.com. And for a limited time, take $200 off a 3-month emergency food supply. My Patriot Supply is equipped to help you and your family to prepare. They've helped over 2 million families already. These 3-month kits with ready hour foods provide over 2,000 calories every day with 22 varieties and a 25-year shelf life. Breakfast, lunches, dinners, drinks, snacks, everything. And they're sealed inside 6 rugged waterproof buckets, and they're over 120 pounds of food. So take advantage right now and go to preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. One more time, preparewithlionel.com. All right, my friends, we love to talk about free speech. Let us talk about a couple of things in the meantime. I've been spending a lot of time doing a lot of research and sampling, talking to friends of mine and experts and colleagues and sorts. And I wanted to give you an update so that you are very, very smart when it comes to President Trump and his sentence, because I know people are going to be talking about it, and I want you to know what's going on as well. First and foremost, is the president convicted? Is the president convicted? Yes or no? Is the president of the United States, President Donald John Trump, is he convicted? Yes or no? Anybody? Oh, wait. Jimmy says yes. Gloria says not yet. Andy says no. Becky says yes. Come on, weigh in. Especially some of you fine folks who just sit back and say, I don't really talk about this. Come on and weigh in. What do you got to say? It's either yes or no. I do like Gloria, though. Gloria is absolutely correct. The answer is not yet. Not yet. There has not been a formal finding of guilt, a formal adjudication of guilt. That will happen at the sentencing stage. But for all practical purposes, he is convicted. Absolutely convicted. So what happens next? What about the sentence? What's going to be the sentence? What does he do? What's going to happen? What's the procedure? This is state court. What happens? What's Judge Mershon going to do? And by the way, just forget about this thing about this Facebook business. Don't think for a moment that somehow that means anything, okay? That doesn't mean anything. This notion of well, somebody said that, no, forget it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They're not going to do anything. And by the way, if they did, it wouldn't be a mistrial because the trial's over. It would be, as I mentioned this morning under CPL, this 440. This is post-conviction relief. It's not an appeal, but it would be a claim that there would be some kind of jury misconduct, and that wouldn't apply at all at that stage. And the jury misconduct normally would be something to the effect of, as we discussed this morning, very, very interestingly, it would be something to the effect of a juror was found to have been doing his own investigation. A juror was actually, instead of listening to the evidence of the case, actually going on and interviewing witnesses, himself or herself. That would really be saying, what the hell was that all about? Maybe that. Maybe lied about something important. Maybe was having some kind of an affair with, some member of the court staff or something maybe along those lines. But this story is a waste of time. But what's going to happen? What's his verdict? Or his sentence, rather? What's the sentence going to be? Well, a couple of things here. And this is very, very important. What is going to be most critical and most absolutely critical that the judge is going to pay a lot of attention to is going to be the probation report, the pre-sentence investigation, the probation report. Very important, very critical, very, very, very important, very critical. It will be it'll be probably the most important piece of evidence and the most important piece of information that the court has and the court will need. Absolutely, positively, without a doubt. Now, what's going to happen is this, and this is what I fear the most. And I don't know if anybody's going to be telling President Trump what to do, but this is what I fear. The investigation is normally had, how do I say this? The investigation, the stuff, so to speak, is going to be dealt with specifically regarding meeting with the probation office. You will meet with a kind of a civil service type of person, somebody who might be just kind of ordinary, somebody who is civil service-like, somebody who might be the classic prototypical administrative person or type you've seen before. And the problem that poses the most important aspect is that you must show some degree of remorse. How do you think President Trump is going to do regarding that? If you don't show remorse, And during the allocution, when you speak before the judge, when the sentencing comes, Trump's going to have to talk about it. How is Trump going to handle this? What do you think is going to happen? How is Trump going to do? When they ask the president, when they ask Trump, will you, are you at all sorry? Do you have any feelings of remorse? Anything? He'll say, no. That'll be his doom. If anybody else, if it were you and I represented you, and I'm going to say, here's what you're going to do. You are going to treat this person who is going to be making the recommendation like a gem. You are going to be the nicest person, the most respectful. And when it comes time to the issue of your guilt, you're going to say as follows. In no way did I ever know or think or believe that what I was doing was in any way a violation of any law. I never thought that for a moment. I thought that when I provided the check or whatever it is to Michael Cohen, I thought what I was doing was completely within the law. Nobody, I'm not an expert in this. Nobody told me it was against the law. Nobody warned me about this. He was a lawyer. I thought it was legal affairs. But the jury thought elsewhere or otherwise. If I broke the law, it was not because I knew it. There was no scienter. I am remorseful for having broken the law. But if I did, it was not because I intended to. I did not know it. I did not know it. That's the way he does it. Do you think he can do it? Do you think so? Do you understand this? Do you understand this? Do you think he can do this? Do you think he can do this? Do you think he can do this? I hope so. What would the sentence be? The sentence would probably be something to the effect of 6 months, suspended. This is what I'm doing my research on this. Talking to a lot of people whose opinion I value. Most people would say 6 months suspended sentence. Suspended. But, and here's the but, a 1 week confinement, 1 week that would take effect after the election. It would be held, it would be not at Rikers, but it would be something to the effect of you would turn yourself in. You would appear at the court. There would be a room in the courthouse. You would be there. You could go home at night. It would be something called confinement. It would be no greater than being held after school, being held in some type of whatever, administrative, theoretical, pretend theater confinement. It wouldn't be confinement. He would have no Secret Service problems. Go home at night, just like people sometimes who are sentenced to the weekend, who go in on weekends and they're let go during the week to work, and then they come in the weekend. So there's all kinds of ways. You don't have to be there the whole time. In the event that he wins, most probably it is believed that Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, would remit the sentence or commute the sentence. There's no way to put a president. And then all is forgotten. Nobody will care. But he will there has to be something. And here's the catch. And this is something very interesting. And I never thought about this. But a very clever associate of mine thought of this. The 1 week in jail, the 1 week in jail would not be because of the crime. It'd be because of the contempt. Remember, you can't let the contempt go by. You have to do. Somebody said one time, you have to smell the disinfectant. You have to appreciate something. You have to be a part of it. You have to be, how do I say this? There must be something to atone for. There must be something. And we'll see what happens. Let's see. But the president has got, could he do this? Will he make speeches? Will he stand before the court? And would he, if it were any of us, we would say, look, I'm going to say whatever I have to do to walk out of here or to minimize my sentence. Would Trump do that? I don't know. Is he going to pull a Bannon and claim, is it the end of it? Okay, I don't know. This I don't know. This I cannot tell you. This is the part, this is the thing which I find so sometimes hard to read, because Trump would be, in many respects, a horrible client, somebody that you would have to deal with. Somebody says, ankle bracelet in the White House. No, you wouldn't be served. No, there's not going to be. It will be done before January the 20th, 2021, or 2025. No, that's not it. But the issue is, does he have the wherewithal to do it? Does he have the ability to sit back and say, well, let's see what happens? This I do not know. This is the thing I do know. This is the part I wonder whether he is able to do this or not. This is the part that fascinates me. This is the part that I wonder. This is the part that I don't know if he listens to anybody. If he believes in being in the, if he believes in the theater of the event, if he believes in the theater of his own victimization. I don't know. He would be one of the worst. He would be the client that nobody would ever talk to. By the way, have you noticed his trial counsel is nowhere to be found? Nicholas, the woman who did, I never hear from her. She's just gone. There was another fellow, I forget his name, and Todd Blanche. They're just gone. I don't know where they would be. I don't know how Trump is handling this now. And what Trump says now is going to be used and is going to be a part of the pre-sentence investigation, which will be done by probation officers prior to the any kind of sentencing. So do you think Trump has no, Trump will not be able to, he would love the idea. He knows he's not going to go to Rikers. He's not going to be in general population. But I think he wants this more than anything. He wants the whole, because the story is, look what they did to me. He's thinking to himself, are they that stupid enough to put me? Would they be that stupid to sentence me? Would they? Would they be stupid enough to sentence me to jail? No. Do you think? That's exactly what he's thinking. And it's going to be fascinating. Now remember, what I'm telling you is not what I want to happen. It's not what I think would be important. It's not what I wish. I'm telling you what's going to happen. I'm telling you the reality of how I think this thing is going to pan out. And as far as there being an appeal later on, I'm hearing some commentators say it's going to be reversed. Really? You think there's reversible error? Maybe. On a lot of different errors. Areas, I should say. And errors. Funny pun there. I heard somebody talk about targeted prosecution, selective prosecution as a Sixth Amendment violation. I don't know. Good luck with that one. Targeted prosecution. How many times do you hear prosecutors, when they run for office, say they're going to clean up crime, they're going to stop whatever it is? And when they do it, they don't necessarily mention the names of the people per se, but they very well might. Think about this. Think about how all this works. It's a fascinating, fascinating issue. And what I find more important and more interesting than anything else is the fact that I'm playing the game of your reaction, your emotion. Just like this morning when we talked about this Brianna Joy. I love this case. I love this because of the anger in this. I was listening to an interview with Eric Clapton and this fellow Dan Curio or whatever. And Eric Clapton is just, he's saying things like, I don't know what happened to Neil Young. Neil Young is like, what happened to Rocket in the Free World? Like all these people have like sold out. Stephen Stills, all these military folks. You know, where is this? And what's so interesting, there are some people I know going back this morning who are so angry with the issue. They cannot, and that's what Brianna, by the way, her thing was. They're so angry. And we've seen this with the Trump folks too, the anti-Trump, Karen types. They show this absolute crazed contempt. Just manic. They're crazy. And it's like, listen to what's going on. I don't care. Both sides. Normally the TDS folks, they can't see straight. It's so funny also when you talk about, I'm really, I don't want to say bored. I'm not bored, but I'm saying, what I would be more interested in is what's happening on the Ukrainian-Russian border. Are you aware of that? Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. That's the one to watch. This is the most frightening thing that's ever happened to anyone. This is absolutely, positively one of the most frightening things, and nobody's talking about this. They're enjoying this idea of what have you. Now, the next issue is, let me ask you something. You probably don't know this, and I don't know why you would. Who owns Breaking Points? That's a Clapton favorite. He loves that. Who owns it? Let me see this. Breaking Points, former host. I don't know who owns it. The channels, I don't know who would own that. It's very interesting. The Bismuth smell, it may be just plain old. This is very interesting. I don't know who owns it. Because I'm wondering next, once they smell blood, once they say, yeah, would they then go to, for example, Apple podcast? Would they petition various platforms for this? Because you know what's happening. Whenever there is any change, whenever anybody gets a scalp or the perceived scalp, whatever it is, they keep going. We did this during COVID. We did this during, mandates. We did this during Ukraine. It doesn't really, it doesn't matter the particular issue. There are people who want to see folks, they want people to feel the pain and feel the sting of wrath and retribution. But this is going to be very interesting to note. And then we're going to ask ourselves, okay, what are we going to do right here? What's going to happen? Because let me also tell you something. You do realize that this week, who was it? Vivek Ramaswamy, your friend, bought either a controlling share or part of BuzzFeed. Did you hear that? BuzzFeed? Everybody says, oh, that's great. Why would you want to buy anything to do with BuzzFeed? What is it? Did you hear that? It's just like these, some people say they're CIA owned, like Vice and others, all these places, Huffington Post, if that had some relevance in the old days. But do you see what's happening with these? What is BuzzFeed or Daily Beast or whatever? What is it other than the people who were there? What is it? What's going to be of this? Does it even matter? The answer is no. Everybody is going to want to see the rawest of independence. And that's going to be the most important thing for people to realize. They want to see the rawest of independent voices. Do you hear what I'm saying? The rawest. They want to hear this. They don't want any. You're going to want to hear people who say what Roger Ailes said, narrowcasting. I'm giving you this. I've got a pro-Israeli, pro-Palestinian, pro-Russian, anti-Russian, whatever it is, and we stick to it. And nobody, but it's got to be independently promoted, independently supported, viewer supported. That's the only way to do it. This is an example. This is what happens. Again, I'm sorry if you're saying, who is this Brianna? I don't understand. It's a show called The Rising. Well, whatever. On the Hill. Remember, Capital. It's owned by Nexstar or Newstar or whatever it's called. The issue right now is going to be, and this is the most important, and they don't understand this, they don't get it. You want to know a particular truth, and you are not going to listen to any of this stuff anymore. And the moment somebody you're not, put it this way, whether you like them or not, I happen to think it's a great show. The Gray Zone with Max Blumenthal. Nobody's going to fire Max Blumenthal unless they just deplatform him or something. But there is no Gray Zone Incorporated. Nobody's going to fire him. And the moment somebody does, for whatever reason, that's it. It's over with. Because what you want, like it or not, left, right, up, down, doesn't matter. You want somebody to really speak what you believe to be your truth. That's exactly what's happening right now. So believe me, my friends, it's going to be bigger. It's bigger than anything that you think. So here's what we're going to do this evening. This is a bit of a truncated effort. I want to thank you for being with us. You have been splendid. We will be back tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., the usual time. Keep subscribed here. Pay attention, dear friends. Pay attention. Do whatever you have to do to maintain your countenance and your faith. We will see you again. Thank you so much for your support. See you then, my friends. And don't forget, until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Ta-ta.